this video, I'm building a giant Star Wars planet with a LEGO droid factory with a working production line and thousands of battle droids. And we'll tell you the story of a LEGO clone trooper fighting in an epic battle. Now let's build! This video is sponsored by War Thunder. This story starts with a clone trooper named Cloney, and he's traveling through a forest on this giant planet I built in LEGO. Cloney is searching for a droid factory, which we will build on the other side of the planet. For this I grabbed some plates and a whole bin full of big ugly rock pieces and made a giant mountain for the droid factory. In the middle, I added a big doorway, and to make it way cooler, I added some Technic pieces, a motor, and now the door can open automatically. Here we can store vehicles like the MTT, in which you can place 16 battle droids. For the tanks, I made 4 AATs and added some charging docks along with a couple of droids who are repairing them for the next battle. To the left we can find 2 of these droid gunships. The droids have prepared a lot of vehicles for war, but now they must create a droid army to take over the entire planet. So next we're building the factory line. For this we're using these tank tire tracks. I added a conveyor belt and added some wheels, so now it actually works. And now we can add motorized parts. So I really hope this works. Sweet, it does. So I made a bunch more. Now we can start building this droid army. First, the droid bodies are loaded onto the conveyor belt. Then the machine adds heads. And in the next section, the machine adds both arms and legs. And at the end of the line, I placed the bin to collect all of the battle droids. And now we've built a giant LEGO droid army. And the Separatists also decided to make a super battle droid army, but we'll see that in action later on. On the top floor, we can find a prison where all the clones taken prisoner in the last battle have to sleep in these gross beds. Every day, they have to wake up after only 3 hours of sleep and enter the mine. Here, the clones have to mine for materials which are needed to make battle droids. During their short 5-minute break, they get some calories to keep going, but I wouldn't ask about the ingredients if I were you. Ugh. Then, in the final room, we can find a command center of the entire droid base. Here, there are a bunch of consoles with droids operating them. Sometimes, the consoles get broken and the conveyor belt stops, and with that, the entire droid factory is finished. In the meantime, Cloney and his company of clones are traveling through the forest. They are still unaware of where the droid factory is located, so they must travel further. Then they finally reach the edge of the forest, but here they have to cross a river which I filled with a bunch of these blue studs. The clones decide to take off their armor and go for a swim. Next, there's a wide open field full of grass along with a mountainside where the clones can find a canyon. There's a few bushes and some trees without leaves, which makes this look pretty scary. He decides the clones will set up base here and continue exploring the next day. There's a big empty area next to the mountain wall, so they will build a temporary base there. So I built the base, and I also added this opening door from the life of a stormtrooper in LEGO. Inside the base, I started adding some tiles for the floor, and this is always so satisfying to do. For the first room, I made these terminals for a communication center and placed them on both sides of the room. And I also made these hologram tables. Now we can work on the cantina. Here, I added a bunch of tables, and now the clones can enjoy some good food. You can shove in this floor, and now we're building a gym. I placed 3 of these treadmills so the clones can stay in top condition. Cloney runs 10 miles every day, and he also does bench press along with doing 1,000 sit-ups. Cloney is a real Chad. Cloney needs to relax, so he grabs his gaming PC and starts playing War Thunder. This is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game you can play for free on PC and consoles. Command your military machines from the 1920s to today's fighter jets and battle tanks. There are over 2,500 vehicles you can choose from, including tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships. Cloney will choose a tank and fight in epic battles. Every vehicle is modeled down to individual components like a LEGO set, and you can even personalize your vehicle with camouflages and other decorations. When you destroy a vehicle or get hit yourself, War Thunder's X-ray view shows exactly what happened. War Thunder also has a mode for every type of player. So go play War Thunder by using my link, just like Cloney. And you can even get 100,000 silver lions to spend in-game and unlock premium vehicles and the Eagle of Valor decoration. And 7 days of a premium account. Cloney really recommends it. Cloney needs to sleep, so next I built a sleeping hall where all the clones can sleep. And I added this toilet where you can sit while everyone is sleeping. And now, Cloney can go to bed. For his next mission, Cloney must travel through the valley. He will lead a squad of 9 clone troopers to discover what's out there. The clones travel through the canyon and it's quiet, but then they see a squad of 8 battle droids patrolling at the end of the canyon. They quickly sneak up on them and take them out. The droids came from somewhere, so they must be nearby, Cloney thinks. They enter a big open plain and then they hide behind rocks and see a giant mountain and some movement in the distance. Cloney grabs his binoculars and sees droids marching. Then he sees a big door. This must must be the droid factory they've been looking for all this time. Some droids are guarding captive clones to go inside the base and work to mine. Cloney needs to save them, and they also decide that they need to infiltrate the base and destroy all of the production lines so the planet will stay safe. Cloney and his squad hide behind the rocks. Then the door opens and a giant droid army marches out. They appear to prepare an invasion of the rest of the planet, and Cloney can't let that happen. So they sneak in and hide behind a couple of crates. They must stop them before more droids are made. Next, they go up to the first floor. Here, they see a few droids operating the controls of the conveyor belts. There are only a few battle droids to take out, and then they can press the red button. So they sneak up behind the droids and take them out. Then they remember the droids taking the clones into the base, and Cloney says they have to free them. The clones go up to the prison and have to take out the guards. The clones make their way to the hangar, and suddenly a camera picks up movement and the droids sound alarm. The clones open the door and escape, but then the droids send out a battalion to fight them. Cloney's plan worked because the backup has arrived, and Captain Rex sent a company of 144 clones, and they placed cannons on top of the hills. Inside the valley, the clones march towards battle along with 2 ATTs coming for support. The clones get behind the rocks and fire at the incoming droid army. Then Cloney calls in air support, and a Republic gunship arrives to bomb the droids. The droids call in air support too, and 2 droid gunships get deployed. Luckily, almost all of the droids are defeated, but then they hear the door opening and see a giant army of super battle droids coming out. They fire at the clones and pick them off one by one. The ATTs fire at the super battle droids and take them out. Cloney looks through his binoculars and sees the droids loading up a bomb, and then the gunship takes off and flies towards the ATT. The clones have to retreat and take cover in the valley. But then suddenly the droids deploy a second army and the clones are ambushed from behind. They've been surrounded. The droids close in on them, and the clones inside the base are trying to help. But they can't open the door without the base being invaded. Captain Rex calls for backup, but they have to wait and hold out until help arrives. In the meantime, Cloney and his squad manage to fight their way to the clone outpost and quickly go inside the base. The droid army surrounds the base, and in the meantime, all the cannons have been taken out. The droids are getting ready to blast the door, and all hope is lost. But then they hear blaster fire, and the backup army has arrived along with 2 ATTs. The clones run through the forest and cross the river to fight the droids. And they also send in many heavy troopers. On top of the mountains there are snipers to pick up some droids. Cloney and all of the rest open the door and run out to fight the droids. But watch out, the AATs will blast them. Luckily the ATT fires and both of the tanks explode. That was close. Then Cloney links up with the rest of the troopers and they join forces to take back the valley. The clones charge into the valley and all the droids are being picked off one by one. Then they finish off the last super battle droids, and oh boy did they kill many. Cloney sits on a mountain of clankers and he goes inside the base to discuss a plan. The droids are producing a new army and it won't stop until they fully destroy the factory. Cloney says they will have to take over the base. They go outside and see the entire clone army ready to attack the base. All the clones travel through the valley for a second time and see all of their fallen comrades. Then they arrive in front of the droid factory and the droids deploy a brand new army. Cloney and the clones create a spearhead and then they give the signal to fire the nuclear missile.
Tactical nuke incoming!
The clones destroyed the factory, and now Cloney can get back to lifting weights in the gym. He has to get ripped for his next adventure, which is coming very soon. And if you want to recreate your own battles, remember to check out War Thunder for free on PC, PlayStation, or even Xbox, using my link in the pinned comment or the video description. And you can even get 100,000 silver lines to spend in-game, and unlock premium vehicles and the Eagle of Valor decoration, and 7 days of a premium account. Thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video.